Okay, so we're entering a new operating round. So the first thing that's going to happen is player 1 is going to get $15 to their private. Player 2 is going to get $10 to their private because that one doesn't pay anything. Player 3 is going to get $40 total, and player 4 is going to get $5. The money has been placed on top of the privates to indicate that they have been paid. As mentioned before, turn order is based on stock value, so the player order is going to go blue, black, red, then green. The blue players first, this is what they have established. So going back to our thing here, our player aid, remember you can always buy a private into your company. So that's something that could happen now. This private that was that the blue player owns, they could buy it into their company for anywhere from half of this cost, so they could pay themselves $10 for this, or up to double this cost, $40, or they could pay themselves $40. So that means $10 to $40 would leave their company treasury and go into their personal pile of money, which they might want to do if they wanted to, buy stock in another company. Additionally, if they did that, this would earn $5 of revenue to the company each turn instead of to the player, which could be a revenue generator for them to build up some money to buy trains. And if they did that, the Delaware and Raritan Canal Company allows for this spot on the board to actually be built, right? It can't be filled in unless a company owns this, so buying this in is an option that the blue company has at this point. The blue player has a total of $20 in personal cash. So they could increase that by exporting $40 from their treasury, and they could take that up to $60 if they wanted to. The next option is to lay or upgrade one track tile. The blue player currently is not connected to anything, so if it does not connect to another city, it's going to not make any revenue and it's going to fall back on the stock track. So what blue is going to do is it's going to place this tile here. Now they can place it either this way and have it run off towards the south, or they could place it this way and have it run off towards the northwest. If they have it run towards the south, they're going to be incurring building cost, but they could pay 40 here and then do another tile lay and another tile lay and connect into this city here. Or they could do a tile lay to go into this small town. So that'd be one turn to lay this, a second turn to lay this one, and then they could run over to this city. If they did it this way, they could do one tile lay and then a second tile lay to run to this city. It's going to cost them $80 to build there. But that would be more revenue generated than this one. So those are the options that they have at the moment. If the blue player decides to have it go south like this, one thing that they can consider is nobody has started this company yet. And additionally, there is another company over here, and nobody has started that company. So the blue player, if they wanted to, could consider starting one of these two companies and then work with the blue company and whichever one of these they start to kind of work together to build a network that plays off of each other. If they chose to go towards this direction, out here, the only company that's over here is the black company, which somebody already owns. So they don't know what the black company is going to do over in this direction. However, maybe they wanted to go this way to go into Ohio because eventually Ohio is one of the largest paying out cities at the end of the game. So maybe they want to build that revenue. But they also could go in this direction, like I said before. They could consider starting this company, which could get into Ohio, and then work together with the blue company to connect this up and kind of get a route going into Ohio anyway, and do it between two companies instead of one company, and trying to avoid this cost of the mountains. So I'm going to go with that option and have them place the tile in this direction. All right, so that is laying a tile. Next is they have the option to place a station marker. So they have one station marker here On their charter, they have 2 others. To place the first one would cost $40. To place the second one would cost $60. So if they wanted to place this station marker out there right now, they could. It would cost them $40 to do that. They are not going to do that. Next is run trains. All right. The blue player has a single 2 train, meaning it can go to 2 stops. Well, there's one stop where its home base is, a second stop here. So they're going to do that. They're going to run from here to here. So, run trains, pay and withhold dividends. So, the cost, the amount of money you make is whatever is in the white circle. So this white circle plus this white circle, 30 plus 30 is $60. So since the blue player ran for $60, that is $6 per share, because 6 times 10 is 60, and there are 10 shares, each worth 10% of the company, so each share is going to pay out $6. Now with this game comes this revenue tracker, and what you can do is each time you figure out what the 10% payout is, you could put this marker on this revenue tracker here. And it shows that, hey, if the 10% payout is $6, you can determine what each payout is. For 1 share, it's $6. For 2 shares, it's $12. For 3 shares, it's $18. For 4 shares, it's $24. For 5 shares, it's $30. And for 6 shares, the most you could ever own of a company, you can't own more than 6 shares, is $36. And now, while that may be pretty easy to figure out with a number like 6 as you get on in the game, if you're looking at, let's say, $73, and you got to calculate, well, I have 4 shares of the company that paid out $74 a share, you can just go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to get $296, right? So it makes it really quick and easy to know the math part of the game. So since it's paying out $6 a share, there are still shares in the IPO. There is 1, 2, 3 shares in the IPO. These shares aren't going to pay any money. It's just considered lost revenue. All right, but had these 3 shares been in the bank pool up here, right, then if they were in the bank pool, it would have paid $6 per share to the company, meaning the company treasury would have gotten $18. Not the person who owns it, not the player who owns the company, but the company treasury would have gotten $8 if that was the case, but it's not. So what we do now is look and see, hey, who has B&O shares? And so we could say, hey, look, player 2 over here, they have a single B&O share. And so that means they're going to get $6. So $6 comes out of the bank, and you put it on the card there, and you leave it there till the end of the round just to go, hey, remember, you did get paid for that. And then we look at the blue player and go, hey, how many shares do you have, blue player? And you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 shares invested in my own company. 6 times 6 is 36, and they're going to get $36. And so now, with their revenue they had at the start of the round, 15, plus the $5 they got for their private company, 15, 5 is 20, plus they just made 36 more. They have $56 now. So they started out the round with $15, and now they have $56. All right, and so since the company paid out, they're going to move on the stock market. If you pay your shareholders, you get to move 1 spot to the right. Now, if the company didn't want to pay out the shareholders, right, that $60, if they just wanted that $60, all 100% of that $60 to go into their company treasury, they could have done that. But what would have happened was this marker would have gone to the left. So you have to make your choice. Do you want to pay out your shareholders and increase your stock value, or do you want to withhold to save money because maybe you want to buy trains or something and make it go to the left? Well, he chose to pay out, so he is now $95 a share, and now he is back to his original share value. If he keeps this up, he will continue to move to the right and watch his value increase. So lastly on our thing is buy trains. He has the option to buy trains. He has a single 2 train, and this is his route. He doesn't really have a lot else going on for buying trains, so he doesn't really need to buy another train yet. But he might consider doing that. And why might he consider doing that? Well, not only because it could increase his runs later, but if he doesn't buy a 3 train, all right, and they eventually all go away, if he's played the manipulated turn order, right, or if he is, able to maintain the first player position before these become available for sale, he'll be okay because he could buy one of these 4 trains. But let's say the way things work out and the way people buy trains, his turn is come and gone, and it's looking like this. His turn is come and gone. He hasn't bought any trains. And let's say the next player buys this 3 train. Well, that makes the 4 trains available. And then let's say the next player after that buys a 4 train. Uh-oh, guess what's going to happen? All of the 2 trains go away. The moment a 4 train is purchased, they go away. What that would mean is if he did not have a 3 train, he would lose his 2 train. This would just go away. And then when it's his turn again, he would not be able to run his trains because he lost it. And that means, as a result, he would have a turn where he didn't run any trains, meaning he didn't make any money, and his stock value would go down because he didn't run any trains. So he might be going, hey, I don't want that to happen. I want to make sure that when the 2 trains do disappear, I'm not without a train. So in order to be sure of that, maybe he's going to go ahead and buy a 3 train. He does have $870. He goes, you know what? I have plenty of money to do that. So he is going to buy a 3 train. So the blue player bought his 3 train. His cash value went down. He put the payment into the bank. It just goes away. So now he has $690 still left to play around with. And it will now go to the black player. All right, so now we're looking at the black player. So the first thing you can look at is, do I want to buy in the private? Now remember, you don't have to buy in the private at the beginning of your turn. You can do it at any time in your turn. You have to do these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things in order, but the privates you can do at any turn. I'm just going to consider it at the beginning. So the black player has $20, $40, $60, $80 sitting here. That means in the next stock round, he is already set to be able to buy a share in the green company if he wants, the red company, or the black company, because he has to buy from the IPO because there are no shares in the bank pool. So he already has $80, but he could have more than that. He has these 2 privates. So one of these is the CPR, which would allow building in a particular place on the board, which is right here. His company is way over here. He has really no use for this. So he could either sell it to himself, or he could hold on to it and make $10 revenue each turn for himself and see if somebody offers to buy it off of him. Or if he wanted to, he could sell it to his company. And now he could sell it to his company from anywhere from half of this, $20, up to double it, $80. He could sell it to himself and get $80 cash. $80 cash could buy him a share in the red, the black, or the green company. That would allow him to buy 2 shares. He'd have $80 here for 1 share, $80 for another. And if the person who's running the company operates it correctly and it gains revenue, that $80 that he spent will increase up in value. So he could go, you know what? Maybe I will sell this. Or he has this one here. This one is providing $30 of revenue. He could sell it to his company and get $60 out of his company, and then he would just be 20 shy of buying another share. But he doesn't have to worry because he knows he's going to run this train this turn and get that $20 he needs. So he could do that. And let's say he's going to do that. He's not going to do this one. He's going to keep the $10 revenue coming to his personal pocket on this one in case somebody wants to make him an offer to buy it. But he is going to sell this to his company, which means from now on, or until these expire, which is I think when the 5 trains are purchased, but until then, $30 each round is going to go to his company. Oh, actually, you know what? No buy-in. This might actually be the one where once there must be a restriction on this. It must disappear and not exist right away once you get the certificate or something. And if that is the case, he should be, well, we've had 2 operating rounds. He should be like $60 less than he actually does have. So let me look that rule up. All right, I looked it up. This actually goes away the moment the first train is bought. So when we started the last operating round, he did not have a train. So he did get $30. So out of this 60, he actually does get 30 of it. However, when he bought that 2 train, this is removed from the game and he doesn't get that revenue anymore, meaning he only made $10 during that turn. All right, and so now he's back in that situation. Does he want to sell this to the company? Now he's thinking, you know what? Since he only has this one company here, maybe he actually might want to do that. And I will just do it for the heck of it. So he's going to sell this, just so you can see it. He's going to sell this to the company for $80, which means I'm going to take this out. All right, I exchange that 100 for 120s. 80 of it's going to go to his personal stack. 20 of it is going to remain in the treasury. And now he's sitting on 80, 90, 100, and $40. And now he gets to look at the next thing on here. Lay or upgrade 1 track. All right, the black player currently already does have a run. He can run from this large city to this small city. So, does he want to lay track? Yes, he wants to lay here. Eventually, he might be able to run here, especially if he buys a 3 train. So he has to lay, or he's going to lay a city. He is going to lay it like that because that's the only way. There's only straight cities. In this game, there's no curved city, so he's going to lay that like that. So he has laid his 1 piece of track. Place 1 station marker. He could put a token there if he wanted to. That would cost him $40 to do that. He's not going to do that. So what's next? Run your trains. So he is here. $40. We're in the yellow phase. So that's going to pay $40. And his train runs from here to here because he only has a 2 train, so he can only hit 2 stops. So 40 and 10 is $50. That is $5 a share. He is in possession of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those shares. So he is $5 a share. 5 times 6 is $30 that he is going to make. And now another thing that this has, besides showing you, what they pay out, let's say the game has been going on for a while. And let's say as it's been going on, this is what the share values are of the different companies. And let's say there's shares available to buy in all these companies. You might ask yourself, well, which company should I buy a share in? And if I can see that the green company pays out $54 a share, meaning, every time the train runs, I'm going to get $54 for each share I own, maybe I would want to buy the green share over the red share because I'm only going to make $37 a share if I invest in the red one. So maybe I will invest in the green one. Of course, you have to weigh the cost of the shares and what have you. But anyway, that is another purpose this serves. So since he has 6 shares in this company and it pays $5 a share, he's going to get $30. And I'm going to set that right on top of the certificate to let everyone know, hey, guess what? He got some money there. All right, so that was that section. Run trains did it, pair with hold up. So we got to move him up on the stock market. So he was profitable. So he is now going to go up to $80 a share on the stock market. And that leaves us with the last option, buy trains or not. And he is actually somebody who would benefit from a 3 train because he only has a single 2 train, and that's just going to let him go from here to there. That's it. But if he buys a 3 train, he'll be able to go from here to here to here. So not only is he protecting his 2 train during the rusting phase, but he's actually giving himself a train that'll give him more revenue. He'll go to $70 a run, which is $7 a share on the next turn. So he's going to buy this for $180. So now he's in possession of a 2 train, a 3 train, and a private company that allows the special build option if you want to do it, but he's also going to make additional at the beginning of every round, every operating round, $10 is going to go directly to his treasury. And that is the end of the black player's turn, and next up is red. So looking at red, again, one of the things to consider is if you have the private company in your possession as a player and you want to sell it to your company, you can do that. And he owns the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal, providing $15 of revenue each turn. Well, where does that company build? That Chesapeake and Ohio Canal builds up here. And the red player is way over here. And even if he builds this way, and if he hooks up into here, he's going to be blocked out at this spot. He's not even getting over there, and he can't build into these sections because that's reserved by somebody else, and he'd have to go over here. He really has no use for that company, and he's not sure how much green or black would want it. They might want it. So he has to decide, do I want to keep this and maybe offer to sell it to somebody, or do I want to have my company start earning $15 of revenue every turn, and do I want to get money out? He paid $80 for this. He could get $160 out of his company right now and buy shares in, well, any of those companies, or 2 shares in 3 of the companies, or 1 share in one of these companies, and watch that money grow. He has no use for this. He's not sure if anyone's going to want to buy it. And he's also not sure he wants to help anybody. He could sell it to somebody, but what if that helps them? He's not here to make friends. He's here to make money. So he's going to sell this to himself, and he's going to export $160 out of his company. So now the red player, prior to that sale, had $55 in their personal cash, and now they got $160 more. So they have, $215 that they could use in the stock round. They could even consider trying to float another company if they want, if they start making enough revenue. So that's some of the different decisions. So that was the private company option. Next is lay or upgrade track tile. The red company is right here. They could lay a track there. It's going to cost them $40, or they could lay track right there, and it's also going to cost them $40. If they lay this track, though, if they buy a 3 train, which there are 3 trains available, they will be able to run from 1, 2, 3 into the 00 city, which is one of the most valuable cities. And then they would still have their 2 train, and on the next turn, they could hook their 2 train up here and run their 2 train between here and their 3 train between here if they wanted to. And that is exactly what they're going to do. So we need to find this piece. Yep, that one's not going to work. They need to find this piece, put that up right there, and so they laid their track. They could pay to place a station marker right there. They're not going to do that. They don't feel threatened that anyone's going to block them out of the city at this point, because no one's even over here, so they're not going to bother to do that. They're going to run their train. They only have a 2 train for now, so 20 plus 10 is $30. Not as good as the other people, but that is a run that they're going to make. That's $3 a share. The red player is in possession of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of their shares. Nobody else has any. So 6 times 3 is 18 whole dollars. So not a whole lot of money, but you know what? They made some pretty good money selling themselves that private company. So this $18 is going to go into their treasury. They did actually make a run, and they did pay out. So they are going to go here. Now, again, remember there's stickers on here, and you flip them over, and then at the end of the turn when everyone's done, you flip them over. So what's going to happen is that's going to flip over like that, and I really should have just put the stickers on those, but I didn't. And so they paid dividends. They could buy a 3 train. Guess what? They're going to do it, as I already mentioned why. They have this 1, 2, 3 route. On the next turn, they're going to lay a track. They'll be able to run their 2 train here on the next turn, their 3 train here. Bam, that's going to really help them out a lot. So it's going to be $180. So that is going to leave their treasury, and they have bought their train. Their turn concludes, and it is now going to be the green company's turn. Actually, let's take a look at their charter. All right, the last player to act is the green company. They were the person in share with the B&O shares, so that's why they have money there. They paid out their privates there. They have their personal cash there. They have their 6 certificates there. They have their company treasury there. Like all other companies, they can decide if they want to buy one of these companies in. This one provides no revenue. This one is probably, I don't know. We'll have to see if you can buy it in. You might be able to buy it in and pull $200 out of your company. But they're not going to do, even if they can, they're not going to do that at this point because their company doesn't have as much money in it as other people. This one provides $10 of revenue. This, as the green company, this is going to allow them to build right over here. They get that special extra build for this action. So this spot actually plays in to helping this company's position. So they might want to actually consider buying this in, though they're not going to be doing that this turn. And even with laying a track tile here, it's going off in this direction. But what can happen is, since the 3 trains have been purchased, they will be able to upgrade cities. And what he will be able to do is this. He will be able to upgrade this tile to this green tile. And now that provides a direct entrance into here. And then once he uses that ability, he can, if he wants to, start heading swinging down here. And if he wanted to, he'll get his free build like that. And then if he wanted to do so, he could upgrade this tile into this tile. And look at that, he'll be able to go right into Baltimore. And additionally, maybe he doesn't want to build yet because since these tiles are built and Baltimore is one of the most profitable cities, this tile could be upgraded. And it could, there's a couple of different options here, but what if, and it probably wouldn't be this, but if this was the tile that got upgraded like this, it would actually leave a direct link into there, which could benefit him, though I doubt the people. Well, the blue player could upgrade it to mess up the red player, but the blue player gets to act first, so maybe the blue player will actually do that. Anyway, these green tiles are going to be coming into play. What's the other option there? Can't do that because they go into the ocean. Can't do that. Anyway, this is going to be available to be upgraded. All right, so going back to the way the situation was, though. So the green player played their track. Next is they run trains. Well, they have a connection here. 20 to 20 is $40 a run. That is $4 a share. So that was for red player. Green is going to go there for $4 a share on the revenue tracker. The red player has all 6 shares, so 6 times 4 is $24. They could keep all of it, $40. They could put $40 into their company if they wanted to instead of paying it out. They would fall back on the income tracker if they did that, though that is an option. But they're going to pay it out, so $24 is going to go to their personal cash pile. Next after that is to move their marker. This goes up to 70 because they paid out, so now stocks in the green company are worth $70 a share. They have regained their value. Next is the option to buy trains. Now the green player has two trains already, and the other people have bought 3 trains. He could buy a 3 train. Remember, he doesn't want to get caught with someone else buying the 4 train and him losing out on that. But the green player, I just realized I was putting money in the red player's spot. I have to move that. 24, is it 24? Move it over to the correct player. There we go. So yes, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, $540. He could do that because even if he buys a 3 train and then the 4 trains come out with as much money as the company has, that's only $480. He has enough to cover both trains when that happens, so he'll go ahead and do it. So he will buy a train for $180. So let's get 180 out. So that's going to put a 3 train into there and put $20 more back in. He has finished his buying the train. He was the last player to act. So what happens next is, for starters, we would flip all of the tokens over to their other side to reestablish turn order. Then we would go through our export a train, which means the top 3 train is going to be exported, meaning there's only 1 3 train left before we get to the 4 trains. And then we move into the next stock round. And I think that covers that.